Hello, my name is Lucas. This is a bit of lit, and I'm here to talk about the literary adventures tag. I was tagged by Tom LA Books, and I'm just going to talk about some places I've been that are featured in literature. I guess in this case, that I've read or just know to be true. We'll start off with the city that I have been to that I actually haven't read anything about, but I've been there. But I know that it used to be a really famous place for poets of China to go to, Suzhou. I'm sure there are plenty of places where poets would go that were famous, but Suzhou, which I believe used to be considered the Venice of the East. Maybe people still call it that, I don't know. But it's definitely a very literary place in the past. Now, I don't know exactly, but I've been there. It's a wonderful city. I would like to go back again. There are a lot of really wonderful gardens there. And, once you see these gardens, you will see exactly where people got their poetic ideas about whatever. I don't know what these poems are about. I've never read any literature from someone from Suzhou that I know of, but that's a place. And plays, I'm sure, as well, or operas or something. I don't know. I know Suzhou is historically a literature dense, has a rich history of literature, as well as Shanghai, I'm sure, in its own sense. Here in Shanghai, we have a fantastic park with a museum. I don't understand because it's all in Chinese, but it's about a Chinese author, so we have Lushun Park, which I will have to go to one day and show it to you because it's my favorite park in Shanghai. And Lushun is a writer from the end of the Qing dynasty and a little bit beyond. When he was younger, his father got sick, and he sought help from Chinese doctors, and they recommended some treatments that were extremely hard to procure and not feasible, and also didn't help. Maybe he was too far gone, or they just didn't work. I don't know exactly what the deal is, but Lu Xun decided he wants to become a doctor because he lived in troubling times in China. And there were a lot of people, getting sick and all that stuff. So he wanted to become a doctor. I believe he went to Japan for a while, and he started writing, and he realized the best way to heal my people is not their bodies, but through their minds. And so he wrote a lot of not books, but, well, he might have written a lot of books. I don't know. I've only read his short stories. And I think he's just a short story writer, but I don't know for sure. I've read all his short stories, though. Love them all. Or at least ones that are collected in the Penguin Classic Edition of his collected stories, AQ and Other Tales or whatever. It's really fantastic. I mean, all of his writing is so sharp and critical of his times. And honestly, there are some things that he is critical of that have changed, but it's sort of a situation where, like, the more things change, the more they stay the same. So it's interesting to read these kind of criticisms that he had through his fiction, how he presented them, and see how things have not exactly changed. There are some differences, namely this, national exam kind of thing. Still something that China has, but it's a little bit different. Not really. From my understanding, you want to go to a really good college? Well, Anyway, I don't know too much about national exams to really speak on it, but I hear a lot from my students about they're not even at that level. They're way too young, but they're just got it on their minds. Anyway, Lu Xun, fantastic author. In the museum, they have a bunch of collection of different editions of his books and some personal effects of his and pictures of his family and himself and these kind of things. And then there is this panorama or something. It's like a miniature model display of different scenes in a small town. and this miniature model shows different it shows different scenes. It's all in one city, and you can see like all your favorite scenes from, oh, I know that story. Oh, I remember that part of AQ. I remember that part of that story. And they're all right there. It's really cool. I'll have to go again sometime. I don't know if, I can't remember if he's actually from Shanghai or wrote his stories set in Shanghai or what the deal is, but I do know that from what I read in the Penguin Classic edition that Chairman Mao Zedong really liked his work. And Lu Xun was not necessarily, he was in favor of change, not necessarily in favor of the communists. I think he didn't like the nationalists, but he was not in favor. Maybe he had some reservations. I don't know too much about his personal feelings, but his works were co-opted by the communists to promote these kind of ideas, because they were promoting some similar ideas in his fiction and communists. That's what I remember in the Penguin Classic Edition introduction. Anyway, feel free to correct me. It's been a couple of years since I've read it, and I don't remember it too well. But yeah, that's Shanghai. The only other place that I can think of is New Orleans. And, I've seen the Ignatius C. Riley statue. I've read Confederacy of Dunces. It is absolutely, there's no straight man in it, so it's just all ridiculous, and I live for that. It's a little hard to get your bearings without that, though. However, it is a fantastic story, and I mean, it is a work of art. It's just so absurd and ridiculous. But New Orleans is my favorite place in America, probably. It's just really hot, though. And speaking of that, A Streetcar Named Desire, I've also read, set in New Orleans. And, I read it before I ever went there. I've gone to New Orleans twice. Once for a conference and once to see my friend who's from there. And it is a Streetcar Named Desire. It is a story that, having now been to New Orleans, I can see how, just through the writing and the way the characters in this play are set up, the way they're like slowly devolving or getting worked up and changing over time, it gives you the feeling of the oppressive heat and humidity of New Orleans. I don't know why. I don't know how Tennessee Williams did that, but that's my opinion anyway. I really like Streetcar Named Desire, and I also like Confederacy of Dunces. And I mean, I guess I've probably been other places where books are set. I just don't know, and I haven't read them, and I don't know. I don't know the history too much. Yeah, maybe Hangzhou is also this is nearby Suzhou and Shanghai. Maybe Hangzhou is also a place that's famous for literature. I don't know. Yeah, bye.